Woo-wee. Gym day. Get to the gym. All right. Hey, listen. Step one before you do anything else, because I'm sure that you've done a lot of internet research and you kind of checked out some homes in the area. Talk to an agent. Talk to me. Give me a call, shoot me a text message, go to Meeting with Clinton. But let's have a little small 10 or 15 minute conversation about you and what your desires are. I want to get to know you a little bit. I want to understand a little bit why you're looking to move. I mean, it's Colorado, for crying out loud. We got the Rocky Mountains in our backyard. Lots of wildlife, streams and rivers and places to go hiking and biking and fishing and camping. Oh my gosh, and the list goes on. And we've got a great economic environment in Denver as well as Colorado Springs and even up north. Oh my gosh, that area toward Fort Collins. Whew. I mean, it's just growing like gangbusters. You need somebody in your corner who's investigating these homes as we see them, because I've got a construction and remodeling background prior to real estate, and I've done several projects since then. Let me help you through the process and being able to show you what comes next. Number one is talk to a real estate agent. Talk to a professional just like me. We come to you completely free of charge for our consultations and things like that. The compensation that we charge is usually paid for by the home seller. We put that into our offers and we do that. Get somebody who guides you through the process and literally holds your hand from start to finish. From the moment we look at homes online and we're talking about that to the moment we go to what's called closing. Now, closing is at the very end of this entire process. It's where you're signing the dotted line and the home becomes yours and you're given the keys. That's exactly what we're after. We want to be able to have that situation. So get somebody who represents you in the process of being able to help you out. The second most important thing about being able to buy a home is to talk to a mortgage lender or a mortgage partner. Now, I've got several mortgage partners who have worked with me and they work just as hard as I do. They want to make sure that they're able to help you get the right monthly payment to be able to afford that home. I would say that the majority of us, and probably 98% of the situations, that it's people that are just like you that go through the process of getting an actual loan to buy a home. Now, there's several different people that you can go to. You can absolutely go to your bank if you wanted to get things started. Now, banks usually work banker hours, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. You won't be able to give them a call over the weekend and say, hey, guess what? I found a home. They just won't be answering their phone. Doesn't happen all the time, but the majority won't. That's your larger banks like Wells Fargo, like Bank of America, US Bank, places like that. That's a place where you can go. Sometimes they'll have higher interest rates. And interest rate, by the way, is something that's tacked onto your monthly payment, your loan payment. And so typically interest rates can be a little bit higher, in addition to the fact that they also have a little steeper requirements for the loan itself. So you may have a situation where you want to buy a house and that loan comes with its own set of circumstances of, hey, just so you know, here's all the things that you have to complete and here's how that home has to look and this is all that you can do, really kind of tight box type situation. Now, as opposed to a mortgage lender. Mortgage lenders work for companies like Megastar Financial or CMG Mortgage or Movement Mortgage, places like that. These are people, actual literal mortgage loan officers that work for these companies that are sometimes local, sometimes like nationwide, but they are working just like I am. They're entrepreneurs, but they're working with that mortgage branch. They work all the time, just like I do. They're working from 7 o'clock in the morning to sometimes 9 or 10 o'clock at night. They'll answer their phones over the weekends. They're super people and I love them to death. So they've got that open availability. They also have the ability to have a little less interest rates, and they may have certain loan programs with their mortgage lender that allows them the ability to have some flexibility with property types, with documentation, things like that. Now, there are some federal requirements to every loan. The third type of lender is a mortgage broker. Mortgage brokers work like this. I have my own little mortgage shop and I've got access to maybe 150, 200 banks. Great situation. Sometimes a little less on the interest rates, depending upon the type of lender that's involved. But they are a single person that has all these other banks surrounding them. The issue with mortgage brokers is that you may be dealing with that person. They may answer their phone over the weekend, and at night it's great person, awesome, and they're local here in the area of Colorado. That's fantastic. But the bank that they send you to might be over on the East Coast. So it might be 2 hours in advance. And maybe they're working a different situation out there. That's that kind of third-party situation. So they're a little bit removed. They don't have as much control over your mortgage loan, even though they've got a relationship with that bank. So mortgage broker is also a good way to go. I've got a great mortgage broker partner as well that I can send you to. But getting pre-approved is most important. That means in the pre-qualification with one of these mortgage lenders means that they pull your credit. They're going to pull all three bureaus, TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, and they're probably going to look at whichever score is kind of in between the other two. That's going to be your indicator score. They're going to tell you exactly how much you can afford depending upon your current income and what your debts are. A lot of lenders don't like to put you in debt more than 50% of your income. Now, there are some loan programs that are government loan programs, perfect for first-time homebuyers, that allow you the ability to go to 55% of your debt to your income and give you a little bit more shopping room. When you're a first-time homebuyer, a lot of times you don't have a lot of down payment. So getting pre-approved with one of these mortgage companies is the second most important part of the process. Step 3 of the process is that the mortgage lender is going to refer you back to me as your agent, and we're going to deep dive in your situation. Why are you looking to buy? Where are you looking to buy at? What's your lifestyle like? What kind of home really fits your needs? We're going to begin the process of talking about those more specifics so that I can be able to guide you to the areas that seem to fit your personality and your lifestyle and what your needs really are. When we go through this process, I'm going to really deep dive on some of that criteria that is most important to you. The fourth most important thing about being able to buy a home here in Colorado has to do with the relationship that you and I have in the process of being able to find homes and to write offers and negotiate on your behalf. Now, every agent usually goes through some type of an exclusive right to buy relationship. So we're going to go ahead and sign some documents that name me as your agent. Now, here in Colorado, all of our contracts within the typical real estate sale has these contracts, so these forms that have already been completed. They're boilerplate contracts that have been pre-written by a lot of Colorado real estate attorneys. They've already been agreed to by the Colorado Realtor Association, things like that. We just simply go through those. We agree that I'm going to become your agent, and I'm going to, which is going to allow me to go ahead and show you homes. It's not something that's necessarily required for me to show you homes, but man, is it important for us to get that exclusive relationship signed and in place so that you can see me working for you, working with you, and we make things happen together. So we get that part of it taken care of and out of the way, and then we start going through that list of homes that you've gone through, that you've received. We start looking for that top 10 of those homes that you've discovered, and we begin the process of going out and actually seeing those homes. It's one of the most important parts, and I think in a lot of ways, it's one of the most fun parts about the whole process. The fifth most important point of anything about buying a home is making the offer. Whenever you find the home that is that, oh my gosh, it's got the mountain view. It's got all that view of that white-capped mountain in your background, or you're able to step out and you've got the city street that's right there, the coffee shop, the sandwich shop. When you've got a situation where you literally live on the 9th hole of that country club golf course and you're seeing those amazing mountain views, you're gonna wanna make an offer. And at that point, we're gonna talk about the contract to buy and sell real estate. We will put an offer together by penciling all of that into that offer. Our negotiation process is usually 3 steps of negotiation. The first is the offer. That means that we're offering a certain dollar amount for the home. We're telling them that we're going to give a certain amount of what's called earnest money in our offer. Now, earnest money is a deposit. That's money that we're saying, listen, we're so serious about making an offer on this fantastic lakefront home or in this community that we're willing to offer $5,000 or $10,000. It's usually about 1%. When you get into some of the upper price points, it becomes a little bit more. So if you find a home that's $2 million and you really want to offer on that, a good size of earnest money for someone to take your offer seriously is to say, you know what, I'm willing to deposit $40,000, $60,000, $80,000 on that $2 million property. For your first-time home buyers, you're probably looking at properties that are somewhere around $500,000, maybe a little bit less, somewhere in there, maybe something closer to the $200,000 range, depending upon your financials and what the mortgage loan officer has pre-approved you at. So we're going to examine that home situation, and we're going to go through that offer that we're making. Now, before we make an offer and we offer a certain dollar amount, the home seller is always asking for a certain dollar amount. And I'm like, yeah, okay, sure. You're gonna ask me for that. Me as your agent, give you what's called a comparable market analysis. Now, what that's going to do is it's going to look at that home versus 6, 10, 15 other homes that are similar in their square footage and the property type. At the very end of this, when that loan is approved, you're going to have closing cost. So closing costs, what those things are, a full year and a half worth of money that the mortgage lender is going to require that gets put into a savings account called an escrow account. That's where the mortgage company is going to receive some of your money from your monthly payment and stuff it into this account so that when your next insurance payment is due, they're going to take it out and they're going to pay your insurance. It's a way that they're able to lower the risk by paying for the insurance, so you don't have to worry about that. In addition to that, they're also going to pay your taxes. They're going to take a certain portion of your monthly payment and put it into that escrow account, that savings account, and they're going to pay your taxes from it. So they're going to collect at closing about a year and a half worth of insurance and probably about 6 or 8 months worth of taxes at closing. That is a closing cost. They may also pay for some of the loan costs, some of the things that you've got to pay for in order to get the loan, processing, underwriting, and a bunch of other little fees that all get added into that. We have a transaction coordinator that we work with. And so you'll be paying a certain amount, a small amount, $299 is where it's at today, at least at this point. You'll be paying that at closing. These are all wrapped up into what is called closing cost. How much are closing costs, Clinton? I'm going to say it's roughly about 1 to 1.5% of the sale price of the home. So just kind of get that in your mind. If you're buying a $500,000 home, you may end up with about $7,500 or $8,000, depending upon the situation, of closing costs. So whenever we're constructing your offer, and it's a buyer's market, which is what it is right now, it means that there's a smaller amount of buyers and a larger amount of homes. A lot of home sellers are willing to pay a certain portion of your closing cost. Yay, you! That's phenomenal. In addition to that, they're also willing to pay for my compensation as your agent, so you don't have to worry about that either. So we are going to talk about that and possibly put that into our offer. We're going to give them certain deadlines about when certain things are going to happen throughout the process. And like I said, usually it takes 2 to 4 weeks to get your loan all the way through the approval process. We're going to be putting that in there, and we're going to be very specific about it and setting expectations so that the home seller knows what type of loan that we're doing, how we're going to go through the process, and everything is set out in advance. We're also going to ask for things like maybe the refrigerator, washer, and dryer. We're going to construct that offer. We're going to see what the home seller comes back with. Within that offer, we're also going to talk about when we're going to do an inspection. Inspections are incredibly important. It's where we hire an inspector. It's not mandatory. You can inspect it yourself. It's highly recommended that you have a third-party inspector come in, have a look at the home. Once the offer is submitted, the seller can accept it, sign at the bottom, and you've got yourself a home. Or they may look at our offer and they may say, you know what, we kind of like you and we appreciate you flirting with us, but we also need to make some changes, and they'll send us a counter proposal. Maybe they don't like the price, they want to counter propose a different situation, but they like us a lot. They help us, and they are a partner in this to get you that home with me. So my goal is to get you exactly what you're after. Or if you're in a different city or you're in a different state, my goal is to get you to somebody just like me that has the partnerships that I do, that spends the time like I do. with you in the process. We do everything. We pull out the stops. We don't pull any punches. We make sure that we get you the home that you're after. Hey, okay, so those are the 5 most important things that you need to know about being able to buy a home right here in this wonderful Rocky Mountain Empire that I call home in Colorado. So if you're interested and you want to get more information, please be sure to either send me a text or go to my website, coloradovistas.com. Let's talk. Let's get into your situation about what you need to do in order to be able to live here in this wonderful mile-high state of Colorado. Thanks so much for watching. We'll talk to you soon.